Let's take a look at the hardened criminals that your Justice Department sent these armed agents to go terrorize on that morning. Here they are at Mass. Here's the 7 children with Mr. Houck and his wife. In this early morning, they were all at home. Mrs. Houck has said repeatedly the children were screaming. He has offered to turn himself in. And this is who you go to terrorize.
Well, that was Missouri Senator Josh Hawley slamming the FBI's treatment of the family of Mark Houck, a Pennsylvania pro-life activist who was arrested by an FBI SWAT team at his home in front of his family for protesting outside an abortion clinic. The issue was brought up by several senators who questioned Attorney General Merrick Garland at a Senate Judiciary Committee hearing today. Well, joining us with reaction, today's company, former FBI Special Agent and Newsmax Senior Law Enforcement Analyst Mark Morgan, and former FBI agent and former Navy SEAL Jonathan Gillum. Gentlemen, welcome to the show. All right, Commissioner, I'll start with you. The topic of how the FBI treated Mark Houck, this pro-life activist, has really brought into question the lack of treatment for activists who went and tore up pro-life clinics around the country. And we had Texas Senator Ted Cruz questioning Garland about that. Listen.
Has the Department of Justice brought even a single case under this statute? It's a yes, no question. It's not a give a speech on the other things you did.
The job of the United States Marshals is to defend the lives
of the answer is no.
It's to defend the lives of the justices, and that's their #1 priority. They have.
Why are you unwilling to say no? The answer is no. You know it's no. I know it's no. Everyone in this hearing room knows it's no.
All right, so the Department of Justice says that it has been fair how Mark Houck was treated. But at the end of the day, when you have a same almost scenario and other people are not treated the same at all, how can you say it's fair?
They can't. And I think that that's what is shocking to me, both in the Attorney General's testimony today and, quite frankly, Director Wray's interview that he gave this week, other than the brief exchange that you highlighted for the AG where he admitted the memo with respect to the Catholic religion was off base. It's really their overall indignancy that they portray at how they could be questioned. They double down. They come across, both of these gentlemen have come across like they're infallible. How dare you question anything or any action that we've taken? And if you do, it's simply quote from the director's words, it's because you didn't like the results or your side didn't win. I mean, that's shocking to me. At the end of the day, as great as the men and women of the Department of Justice and the FBI are, they're human and they aren't infallible. And the FBI makes mistakes. And I would say the last thing that's shocking to me is neither one of these gentlemen have stood up and just remotely admitted that, yeah, maybe there are mistakes. And even if they disagree with it and don't agree with the perception, there is a perception that the public's trust in this country is eroding with respect to the system of justice, but yet they're not acknowledging that to deal with it.
Okay, let's talk about people not being perfect, because, Jonathan, we had Attorney General Merrick Garland echoing what FBI Director Christopher Wray has said about the treatment of Mark Houck, that it was actually made on the ground by agents. They are the ones who decided to treat him like this. Listen.
Decisions about how to do that are made at the level of the FBI agents on scene. Determinations of how to make arrests under arrest warrants are made based by the tactical operators in the district.
Okay, you're a former FBI agent. Do you agree? Is that normal?
Well, the tactics are determined quite often by the people on the ground, but here's the thing. There's two things going on here. One is institutional inbreeding in some of these tactics. And the other problem is that there's ideological issues going on when it comes to how and who these tactics are applied. And I think that is evident. It's clearly evident. And I think when we look at at the totality of the circumstances of all the people or all the issues and cases that have been confronted by the DOJ and the FBI, what we're seeing is that there is a two-tier system. It looks at things that the Democrats deem are important, and they were much more tactical on those issues. And then they look at the issues such as the abortion clinics that are actually, the pro-life clinics that are attacked, and there's nothing that occurs with those. So there is a two-tier system, and that is not coming from the ground. That's coming from the DOJ and the FBI directives and certain people who run certain field offices.
Okay, let's switch to another topic that they hit with Attorney General Merrick Garland. We had Senator Lindsey Graham pressing the AG on the flow of fentanyl and drug cartels. Listen to this.
Would you oppose some of us trying to make them foreign terrorist organizations?
I wouldn't oppose it, but again, I want to point out there are diplomatic concerns. We need the assistance of Mexico in this and designating.
Is Mexico helping us effectively with our fentanyl?
They are helping us, but they could do much more. There's no question about that.
Okay, Commissioner, I mean, we have so much concern with Mexico not really standing up to the things they said they would do. Should cartels be set into this standard where they are terrorist organizations?
First of all, what the AG said that Mexico is helping, that's a joke. That's just a flat-out joke. Look, both of us have been in the FBI for a long time. I was especially in charge of our El Paso division. I know the cartels well, especially as the commissioner. To say Mexico is helping in any degree, that's just a lie. It's just not true. And we don't need Mexico's help or assistance or agreement to protect this country, number two. And number three, what I would say is there are some downside potential negative impacts to actually formally call them a terrorist organization. But here's what I would say is we need to, as the United States, go after them with the same level of resolve, commitment, resources, and whole of government approach that we do terrorist organizations, because the cartels are one of the most profitable, prolific, violent, transnational criminal organizations in this world. The way we're doing it now isn't working. It hasn't worked for decades.
Yeah, Jonathan, I want to hit on that. I have about 30 seconds
that?
left. But it's like we're tiptoeing around Mexico, like we're concerned about them.
That's because we're looking at Mexico as the problem, and it is a problem, but the real overarching problem is Congress, it's the DOJ, it's the FBI. It's the fact that we no longer approach problems to solve those problems. They're just batted back and forth for political reasons by people who have ideological or careerism motivations. That's it. So until we fix that problem, we will never solve a problem like the fentanyl problem in Mexico.
Sad to hear. We got to fix it from the top, right? Jonathan, Commissioner, good to see you both. Thanks for being here.
You bet.
Thank you.